What do I think about being a guild master on Elder Scrolls Online PCNA versus being a guild master on Throne of Liberty? That's what we're here to find out. Okay, so let's start with having a history tab. ESO not only does have a history tab, it has a very optimal history tab. It says when people join, when people leave, guild bank deposits, guild bank withdrawals, uh, and whenever a guild sale is made and how much. So I'd say I really do like ESO's history tab. I'm going to give it a 2. Throne and Liberty does not have a guild history tab, with the exception of guild contracts when someone completes a guild contract and who had the highest score. But that's not good enough for me. I was like, okay, whatever. So that's gonna get a -1. Guild bank. So ESO definitely has a guild bank. Mm, ESO's is ESO has a guild bank, but it's capped. So I'm gonna give it a 1. Throne and Liberty, there's not really a guild bank per se, but there's guild donations you can make, but you are capped and as to how many donations you can make within a certain time before, like, you only get 10 and then you have to make donations, and then the amount of donations you can make has to recharge over time. So I'm gonna qualify that as the guild bank, whether it's solent, fabric, leather, whatever. So I'm gonna give this a 1 because, well, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether you count a limit to donations or how much. So ESO's guild bank has a limit on how many you can store. Throne of Liberty has a guild bank on how. Throne of Liberty has a cap on how many donations you can give at any one time. So I guess I guess that's more open to interpretation, but I'm just going to give both of those a 1 in that category. Guild Merchant. Okay, so Guild Merchant will mean something on ESO, but it'll mean another thing on Throne and Liberty. On ESO, it means who can access. It's a it's an NPC you rent for a week, and then you can increase your sales from anyone in the general public. So, and then a guild merchant on Throne and Liberty means an NPC who will sell you stuff. With some stuff you can, I think you can buy unlimited. Others you can buy, you're capped on. So, hmm, would I consider that optimal on ESO? I mean, it depends on how much gold your ESO guild has in its guild bank. So I'm just, but for the average guild, I would not say this is optimal. So I'm just going to give this a 1. Uh, Throne and Liberty, it's there. I don't know if it has some cool stuff, like you can buy blue gear for the lithograph book. So I mean, it's there. So I'll just give it a 1. I'm not sure how it, like, how that would stand out as like optimal. So either it is or it isn't. So it's gonna get a 1. Roster cap. ESOs is 500. Throne and Liberties is 70. I don't think either of those is necessarily too big or too small, so I'm just going to give both of those a 1. Recruiting. ESO, I feel like I'm just more likely to get 0 to 1 people. Throne and Liberty, I may or may not find people when I'm out recruiting on Throne and Liberty, but even though I feel like I'm more likely to get somebody on Throne and Liberty than I am on ESO, I still would not consider Throne and Liberty to be a very optimal place to recruit, at least on Benediction. So so both of those are going to get a 1 for B. Okay, application system. You can put information about your guild, Throne and Liberty on both. So both. They both have 1, so I'm just gonna give both a 1. Okay, Guild Finder. Yeah, they both have a Guild Finder, and again, I guess you could say, well, there's application in Guild Finder. Actually, I'd say no. Application guild finder means you can go out and look for guilds, and they can say stuff you don't like. You can put stuff about your guild on either one. You don't just like here's my guild name, but here's no information at all. No, that's not how it works on either one. You can put information on about your guild on both of those. So one, yeah, I'm good. So they're both there. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you describe that as optimal or not, but I'll just give that a 1. Okay. Auto join ESO. You cannot. Someone cannot auto join your guild from Guild Finder, but they can on Throne and Liberty. But again, auto join. It's one of those where like either you have it or you don't. There's no optimal way to have auto join. So technically, that's just gonna get a 1. Okay. Roster tab. ESO. I mean, it does have a roster tab for like character names and class names, and same with Throne and Liberty, but classes work a little differently. It's just like your weapon combination choice. So I mean, they both have one. So I'm I'm gonna give both of those a 1. There is gonna be a bit of an exception with roster notes from GM. So I can I can manually write roster notes on people on ESO. So that's going to get a 2 from me. The individual member has to do that on Throne and Liberty, which I'm not a fan of. I like being able to keep track of who's who on the game versus Discord. So I'm going to give that a 1 because you can, but it's like the member has to do it themselves. Let's see. Guild mail. ESO, I am going to give... They both have a mailing system, but you know what? I'm going to give the edge to ESO because on ESO, you can... Well, I use the Godsend add-on personally, and with the Godsend, you can decide which ranks get a mass mail. On Throne and Liberty, everybody... You basically just write your letter, push the button, and everybody gets it. The only edge Throne and Liberty would have is on... At least when you use Godsend, and I've used Godsend, I've used Shisu's, guild tools. I mean, every time I send a guild mail, it has to go to one. It has to go to one person, and then a few seconds of the next person, and a few seconds of the next person. So, but in total, that's only like maybe like 10 minutes ish at most. I've actually never timed it, so that's not too big a difference to me. So I'm just gonna give a 2 and a 1. So ESO is still going to win. Okay, Guild Home tab. I'm going to give the edge to ESO here because they both have a Guild Home tab, but on ESOs you can write a lot more information. But Throne and Liberties you get like this little tiny text box. So yeah, I'm definitely giving the edge to ESO. Okay, censorship. I'm gonna give. Yeah, I'm going to give the edge to ESO because they both have a profanity filter, but ESOs you can turn off. So, let's see. Well, I guess it's... Well, I mean, I guess, can I really say that? Because... Okay, ESO is rated M, and then Throne and Liberty is rated T. So, yeah, I'm scared. I'm still gonna give it. I'm still gonna outrank and give the edge to ESO. Okay, ranking system. ESO's ranking system definitely much more optimal because you get up to 10 ranks, and then you can customize each rank for like which rank gets which permissions. And then Throne and Liberty, you have all guilds have exactly 4 ranks, and then there's a little bit of customizability, but not enough to where it's a significant difference. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give the edge to ESO here. Guild heraldry on ESO, you pay 2,000 coins for a guild heraldry tabard, and then on Throne and Liberty, it's just on your cape, which you're going to need anyway. But I don't consider 2,000 ESO coins to be a big enough difference, so I'm going to give both of these Actually, no. I'm just gonna give them both a 2 just to be nice. I mean, it's one of those things where either you have it or you don't. But why not be nice? Okay, alliance system. On ESO, you cannot officially in game have other guilds listed as your allies, so that's going to be a -1 from me. On Throne and Liberty, you can. In fact, you can have up to 3 guilds as your allies, so I'm not sure if you consider 3 to be more optimal or not, but I see so far Throne and Liberty is losing, so I'm going to give that a 2. Collab Necessity. On ESO, honestly, a lot of the stuff can just basically be played by yourself. Throne and Liberty, you're gonna be much better off if you're playing a lot. Well, you can enjoy a lot of the content on Throne and Liberty by yourself, but you're gonna in certain cases you will need other people. It's people on Throne and Liberty needing to work together, I'd say, is a lot more. It's a lot more of a necessity on Throne and Liberty than it is on ESO. So, so on ESO you still have public dungeons and world bosses and other group content. So I'm going to give it a 1, but I am going to give the edge to Throne and Liberty because when you're out there in the world, you realize, oh yeah, a lot of this stuff would just be easier if I had other people with me. Okay, in-game blacklist. Again, that's just ESO. That's just going to be ESO hands down. On ESO you can blacklist people from your guild and prevent them from rejoining Throne and Liberty. You cannot do that. So that's going to be a -1 for me. Multiplayer content. Like with, again, open world dungeons, world bosses, trials and stuff, where like you're all doing stuff together doing it at the same time. I'd say it's roughly even, probably roughly even on both. So I'm gonna give both of those a 2. Losing your GM spot on ESO, at least as far as I know, you can really be gone for like months and months and months, and then ZeniMax won't care. But on Throne and Liberty, they say in the game that once you've been gone for at least 7 days, you're open to losing your guildmaster spot to somebody. So I'm definitely going to give the edge to ESO here. I do not appreciate being forced to log in at least once every 7 days just to maintain my guildmaster spot. Guild leveling. Your guild doesn't really level on ESO, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna say 0 on this, and then Throne and Liberties. I'd say it's more optimal because you get more bonuses as you progress through the levels. Not quite every level, but a good portion of them. So I'm gonna give this a 2. And then guild quests. ESO does not have guild quests, but that's okay. So I'm gonna give. But Throne and Liberty, I think it does have in the form of, well, I say guild quests, more like guild contracts, kind of like the guild quests we saw in Lost Ark, where you're all doing them, but you don't necessarily have to be doing them together at the same place at the same time. And I do like that. I think that's very optimal. It bridges the gap between single player and multiplayer, so I'm going to give that a 2. Guild rewards. There's basically no reward for joining and being part of a guild, except you have people to run group content with, which is just basically meets the standard. So, not really. I'm just going to give that a -1. And then guild rewards on Throne and Liberty, depending on whether or not you did participate in a guild contract. I think that's more. I think that is more that. So Throne and Liberty does have guild rewards, and I would say it's standard. I'm not quite sure if you'd say that, if you'd call it optimal. So I'm going to give this a 1. Okay, chat macros. Okay, I'm I'm just gonna have to give this one to ESO hands down. On Throne of Liberty, I just have to copy and paste my stuff from Notepad, but on ESO, I could just use the PChat add-on, and I could just go out recruit. Go to Alakir Desert, post the recruitment statement in the there. Just use the Way Shrine. Go to Apocrypha. Put the recruitment statement there. Use the Way Shrine. Go to Artam, and so on. Chat macros, but Throne of Liberty does not have the ability to upload a statement you can just put in as a macro. So it looks like the winner is ESO. It's very close, but well, hold on, let's see. History tab. Yeah, okay. Guild bank. Any guild membership, recruiting, applications, guild finder, join roster tab. Yeah, but it does not. Okay, in-game blacklist. Let's put content. Yeah. Okay, let's see. History tab, when I say, does not have guild bank. Throne of Liberty does not have. Throne of Liberty, yeah, that's okay. Guild merchant. Roster tab. Roster tab's okay. Recruiting's okay, application's okay, guild finder's okay, auto join. Either you have it or you don't. Roster tab. ESO does not have auto join, and that's not okay. I like being able to people just let themselves in. Okay, roster tab. Has one. Yeah, it technically can, but it's not very optimal. Okay, guild mail has, but it's not as optimal. Guild home tab. Yeah, censorship. Ranking system. Yeah, it's pretty close, but I'm gonna have to give the edge to Elder Scrolls Online. So before I stop recording here, I want to ask, what do y'all think of this video? Did you like the criteria? Do you agree or disagree with my points? Feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.